this up there. So if you ever see me get started, I usually don't talk for 80 minutes. This doesn't happen, but I am today. And we're still not going to get through the whole introduction today. Okay? Tomorrow we're going to do the tour of where everything is and the closets and all that kind of stuff. But today we're kind of just going to get through my introduction part of everything. And I'm probably going to tell you more than you need to know about me, because I want you to understand who I am. And next class, if we have time, I might try to get to know you guys a little better. Hopefully, through the course of the year, I will. Okay? So, introduction is a little bit about myself. I was born in Dayton. I grew up in Washington Courthouse until 6th grade, and then I went to TVS until college. And I didn't go to high school there. I just went to 7th and 8th grade there at Lanier. Anybody knows where Lanier is? It's not there anymore. And I currently live in Eaton, across the street from the high school. I've got a wife and 4 boys. Actually, this is old. It's 28 years. Zach's second-year law student. Thru is a junior in college right now. Joshua's a senior at Eaton, and Luke is a 5th grader. And these are old pictures from a couple summers ago when I updated it last. If you know any of my kids, that's Josh. That's Zach, who's the oldest. That's Thru, and there's Luke, and that's Josh and a Mako shark. I love scuba diving. I've done it since I was 12. So every 3rd year we go on a vacation because I want to go diving on vacation. So we're going to go every year, and it's their graduation present. They get certified, and then we go scuba diving somewhere. And that was our 25th anniversary, so it was a big trip to the Bahamas, and we went on a shark dive, and it was awesome. There was like 9 Mako sharks swimming around us. My wife wouldn't get off the boat, but that's okay. I didn't pay for her to dive that day anyway. So that's the family. I started college at Duke University. I went there freshman and sophomore year, double major computer science and electrical engineering. My ROTC scholarship was in electrical engineering, and I hated electrical engineering. I'm not saying you shouldn't be an electrical engineer if that's what you want to do, but they wouldn't let me change majors. So I transferred schools to a school that didn't have electrical engineering, so then they let me change majors. So I transferred to Miami. I finished up at Miami. My Bachelor of Sciences in Systems Analysis and Operations Research. I graduated with my Master's in International Relations from Salva Regina in Newport, Rhode Island, and then I've taken classes at UD, Wright State, and Ashland University in education to get all my certification stuff and become a qualified teacher. Worked my way through college, at least when I was at Miami, for Dayton Power and Light for their computer programming division. When I graduated, I was an analyst for NCR Corporation at Dayton until I got activated during Desert Shield, which was before everyone in this room was born. My IT background, I was a network administrator and a computer IT guy in the Air Force for a while as an extra duty while I was flying, and I've done independent programming and contracting as well. As far as the Air Force goes, I'm still Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force Reserves. I got activated back in 1990. I flew as an instructor for 4 years, and that's really where I got my love of teaching, honestly. Flew Special Ops for 4 years. And then I flew for United for a couple years up until 9/11 kind of ruined that gig, and flew Special Ops or Strategic Airlift as well. I currently work in the Rotary Wing office at Wright Pat. How does that affect you and why do you need to know? Because I'm retiring this year as Lieutenant Colonel because it's my 28th year. December 21st I have to retire, and I have to make it a good year before December 21st. And my year starts October 1st. So between October 1st and December 21st, I have to do a reserve year, which is 24 days, which means I'm going to be gone 24 days from class between October 1st and December 21st. So I'm going to be gone 2 weeks straight in October, a week in November, and a week in December. So that is going to affect you guys a little bit. I record every class for the last 5 years on YouTube, so you guys are probably going to go into class and either watch what class would have happened as a video on the big screen or on your own laptops, and be working on whatever the research project of that week is when I'm gone. Okay, so it's not going to be like I'm on vacation. Actually, sometimes it's harder when I'm gone because I'm not here to answer questions. Although I will be available on the chat and I will be watching you. That's a camera with sound, and I can get to it from my phone from anywhere. Just so you know, that one up there over the TV. So that exists in that's a separate system. There's one in the main IT closet and then in my closet over there. By the way, it works in the dark just fine. It's just black and white. It's not color anymore. Nobody else can see it other than myself and Garrett Anderson. But I'll be able to see if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. I just have my phone sitting up on the side. So just so you know, I'm watching all the time. Okay, so I am going to be gone a little bit for that. It's just some pictures of the planes I flew. There's a T-37. The instructor sat on the right, and the student sat on the left. It's fully acrobatic, full formation. It was a lot of fun to fly. When I left there, I went to Special Ops and flew 53 Pavlo helicopters. That's Kosovo right there. Great mission, great crew, but you're gone a lot. I was gone 265 days my last year, and they tried to send me, I got orders for Korea for a year and a half. The week my third son, Josh, is a senior now, was due to be born, and I wasn't about to leave for a year and a half. Not that I didn't want to go to Korea, but I didn't want to go to Korea without my family. So I gotta.
Were you like transporting cargo through?
No. This is Special Ops. We just Special Ops forces. So, guys. So, most of the time, guys, I can't tell you about. So, it's all the whole mission was classified. I still have my top secret clearance from flying that as part of the reserve job that I do now. But it was all infiltration, exfiltration of special forces. So, occasionally we did rescue. In fact, in Kosovo, that's really what we were there for. We were doing rescue operations because the Pavlo was capable of flying at night in the weather at 100 feet in the mountains with its systems, and nothing else in the world could do that. So we could go into a down location straight off of GPS coordinates without being able to see outside at all. You go down to 3 feet without seeing, and the last 3 feet you just shove the collective down and you hoped it was flat right there. So that's why we were doing it in Kosovo, is because we could do something nobody else could do. By the way, it's not a lot of fun to do that, not be able to see and land. It's kind of a little bit of nerve-wracking when you're doing that, but we could do it. So after that, I flew 141s out of Wright Pat during the war, and honestly, as I transitioned out of that, I transitioned here in 2004. I really was still doing it. I took the first group of Al-Qaeda detainees to Guantanamo Bay. That's them in their orange jumpers, and that's the initial crew that took them down there. It was my birthday, as a matter of fact. I was born January 11th. 2002 was my birthday when we took those guys down there, and strangely enough, 3 of us on the crew, 3 of this small group had birthdays on the exact same day on that crew that we took them there, which is very unlikely to have a small group. Those were the worst of the worst. Not everybody that went to Guantanamo Bay probably should have been there. They all should have been there. So, and then I flew United Airlines till 9/11 happened. I actually still work for them until May of 2019. I have to retire by then. Well, I have to resign by then, my spot, or go back, but I don't plan on going back. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about my philosophy on life. This has nothing to do with really computers. It has to be with the way I feel about stuff, and I hope I impart a little of that feeling to you guys too. Kind of why I act the way I do around school, why am I always in a hurry, why do I react the way I do, and what do I expect from you guys in class. So this next section is more about life than it is about computer hardware. So just to give you warning. Okay, so talk a little bit about what the key to happiness is. Why is meaning in life important? Why is it that I think it's important that you guys think about who you are and who you want to be in life, and how those things that we do every day affect us. So we need to think about what gives us meaning and why are we here at school, and why does school have any consequence on us. And I obviously feel like school is important or I wouldn't be here, and I think everything you guys do every single day is important from here on forward. And why do I think you should go to college? Okay, I will tell you right now, I think every single one of you guys should go to college. We are not back in the 50s anymore. Going to college opens up more doors for you guys for happiness. Okay? Now, that's a general statement. If Mr. Beiser's dad owns a 5,000-acre farm and he knows he's going to be working there and he's going to take over the family farm, that's fine. That may not apply to him, or maybe he's going to go to ag and increase the family farm potential by 25% because he got a college degree in agriculture. There are really good reasons to go to college, and there's a college for everybody. There's a college for the smartest kid in this room, and there's a college for the least smart kid in this room. There's colleges for different socioeconomic groups. There's colleges that apply to different sexual orientations. I mean, no matter what you are, no matter who you are, there is a college for you out there. You just need to find the one that fits for you, and they don't all fit. They don't all fit. If you go and visit colleges, we went to 5 this summer with my son who's a senior now. I'll tell you, one was an absolute non-fit, one was I don't know, and 3 of them were really probably nice fits for Josh. You kind of have to go and you have to meet the kids and you have to see the school. Small schools are great, and I could talk to you tons about small and big school differences and stuff, but I do feel very strongly that to open up doors for yourself in this day and age, college is important for everybody. Life is work. What does that mean? It means when you become an adult, like me, you're going to spend a majority of your waking hours at work. It becomes your life. Are you happy with your life? Do you go to work that you love every day and you find meaning from and you fulfilled from and you work with great people? Or you go to a job every day that every single day you leave, you hate what you just did for the last 8 hours? And if that's you, it's going to affect your life. Right now, it's important for you guys to set your life up for happiness down the road. Okay? All you guys, blue skies in front of you right now. I mean, that's pilot term maybe, but there's nothing to stop you guys from being whatever you want to be. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a whatever, right now, all of you can be whatever you want to be. No matter what you've done to this point in your high school career, it doesn't matter. You can still do it. Okay? But there'll be a point where it's going to be really, really hard if you make the wrong decisions. So you got to think about what's ahead of you and where you're going to go. Okay, so you have lots of choices. Do you graduate? What do you do after you graduate? What do you do after that? We all have basic necessities that we have to fulfill in our lives. You know, we all have to have shelter and we all have to have food. And how do we meet those basic necessities? Doesn't mean everybody should be a doctor. I'm not saying I would be a good doctor. Okay, I might be annoyed with every single patient that ever came in, and yes, that may be the best paying job out there, but that doesn't mean that I'd be the happiest doing that. Okay. So you have to decide what kind of necessities you want and how you're going to meet those necessities. And I will tell you also, that doesn't mean you need to be the richest and have the best, okay? A good friend of ours' daughter went to college. She lives in actually doesn't live in a tent anymore. She lives in, I'm going to say a shack, okay? She graduated from college with a degree in, I think it was like outdoor life or something like that. She's been a river guide for the last 8 years. Going down the river every single day. She lives in a tent. She is happy as can be. Okay? But that's how she fills her basic necessities, and she found what her calling was in life. Okay? She moved up because of seniority. She's like in the little outbuilding that your lawnmower's in. She's in that now. She's got an overhead light and a light switch, so she's pretty happy. It never leaks in her tent anymore. But you have to find what makes you happy, okay, in life, and find the ways to fill those necessities. You're either going to work or you're going to go on welfare. Those are the only two choices, because you have to have money somehow to fill those choices. So every day we have young people feel alienated and disconnected, and if you're that way, don't think you're the only one. It probably applies to 8 out of 10 of you in this room right now. That everybody, I did when I was your guys' age, I thought I was the only one who felt the way I felt. You know, I'm not as smart as people think I am, or I'm not a whatever, okay? We all have doubts. We're all disconnected. My point by bringing this quote up, and I think I even said who said it. Oh, no, I just have, it's a general sense of malaise, is to say you're not alone, and don't get depressed about it if you don't know what you want to do with the rest of your life. If there's somebody in here who knows what they want to do the rest of their life, they're probably the anomaly at this point. And even those people who know right now, when you're a junior or a sophomore, do we have any seniors? No. Okay. So even those people probably are going to change. I mean, I thought I was going to be an electrical engineer. I'm not an electrical engineer. I changed. My oldest son is in law school. That was never anything that he thought about doing at the time. So if you have this, don't feel like you're alone. That it applies to almost everyone. However, the problem with malaise is that it allows you to wander through life, and it generally leads to unhappiness. And you don't want to have a job that is just to pay the bills or just to support your family. It'd be nice to have a job later on in your life that you're actually happy with and gives you fulfillment. And I will tell you, I love this job. I really do love this job. I love working here. 95% of the people I'm happy to work with every day. And if anybody says 100% of the people they're happy with are a liar, there's no job you're going to have that everybody you get along with. It's just not possible, right? We're all different. There's always going to be somebody we don't get along with. This is my, let's see, 14th year teaching, okay? I started in fall of 2003, it's fall, okay, 14th year. In 14 years, I've only had one student that I didn't like. Only one. That every time I walked into class, and I got that thing on my back, and And actually, all the other students thought he was my favorite student because I went out of my way to be nice to him because of how much I didn't like him. Because I was afraid it would come through how much I didn't like that. So if I'm really, really nice to you, you might want to take. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I digress. By the way, I'm ADD, ADHD. You don't even have to try to get me off task. I'll do it all on my own. So, anyway, so everybody knows this person. You really don't want to be the person who hates going to work every day and come home unhappy every single day. It is very hard to be unhappy with where you are every day and come home and be happy. You may have the best spouse, the best kids in the world, but if most of your day you're like, I hate this job, it'd be really hard to maintain happiness your whole life. So my point with saying that is, right now, you guys have the ability to change your entire life going forward by making the right decisions, okay? So try to find meaning in life. If you find meaning in life, you'll be happy. And meaning in life, I'm not saying that your meaning in life has to be something cosmic, okay? If you get a job at Speedway and you love working at Speedway and you like helping people and you find fulfillment at Speedway, that's fine. You don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be a teacher, you just have to be what you are happy with being, okay? And as long as you're happy with it, that's all that's important, okay? So you need to try to find what makes you happy. And then, see, I got a little quote down there at the bottom. Okay. So you need to find your significance and your importance in life. There are millions of people in the world. I'm going to skip past some of these. You're just one speck, but you still make a difference to every single person you contact with every day, over 300 million in the United States right now. Why do I say that? Because we're all cog in the wheel. We all impact everybody else in this classroom, in the school, at your home, your siblings, your parents, every single day. Okay? If Jesse walks in and is a total jerk to everyone in the class or the person he's sitting next to, she could have walked in a wonderful mood this morning, and now the whole rest of her day is blown because somebody was just jerk to her just because he was in a bad mood, right? So try not to be the poison in the room, okay? I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying that we affect everybody. We affect everybody every single day. When we walk down the hallway and we don't say hi, or we do say hi, or we smile at somebody, or we trip them in the hallway. We all have an effect on everybody else every single day. No matter how small of a part you think you are in the world, you affect everybody around you every single day, no matter what. Okay? Now, I am not, okay, I'm a Christian. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not infallible. I don't have every day a great day. I get grumpy. Cindy is great at taking my grumpy phone calls sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, what? Okay? I'm not perfect either, but my point is, if you set yourself up in life, if you realize that you're important to everybody else around you, whether you think so or not, it'll make your interactions with everybody else and your whole life go a little bit smoother. Okay? We want to try to find our passion in life, where we belong in life, your voice, your calling, to make yourself happy. If you find those things in your life, your whole life's going to go a little smoother. So, why am I saying all these things? Okay? I'm saying it because someday, your family, what you do now is going to be important to your family. Someday these choices are going to make a difference that you make every single day, and I want you guys to try to give yourself a chance, okay? A chance of being happy and of being successful. Okay, now, this is not a happiness chart. It's not a happiness chart. It's an old chart, too. It's 2011, so it's 6 years old. But basically, back in 2011, when this chart was done, it says, what's the unemployment rate if you get a higher education, and what's the pay if you get a higher education? The higher education you have, the less chance you are of being unemployed, and the more money you make. This is not a happiness chart. That doesn't mean doctors are happy, okay? It's just saying that you might be less stressed in your family about money if you continue your education, okay? There's not a huge difference between bachelor and master's, but you go and become a physical therapist, an occupational therapist. That's what a professional degree is. Doctoral means I'm a doctor of philosophy and I'm teaching at a university. They don't make as much as somebody with a professional degree. That's all this chart is for. Is this kind of show you that education can matter. This is an average. So obviously there's always somebody out there. But happiness is not about money. Research has shown that $85,000 a year is the happy spot. You don't get any happier with more than $85,000 a year. Okay, and if we go back to the other chart, that's basically saying if you get your bachelor's degree, you have the highest chance of being happy. Past that, you just have more money. You get to go on more trips or something, okay? But I guess the research is saying that when you hit this point, the stress level about money is low enough that you can be concerned more about your family and other things that you weren't concerned about before. So I'm not saying it's all about money, okay? And obviously you can be happy with that money too. Okay, Tom Fujimura, my being here was influenced by two teachers, two people from high school. Tom Fujimura was my guidance counselor. He always used to say at the beginning of every single thing he said, your future has already started. You're already heading down a path right now. He was a big impact on why I wanted to be a teacher, as did Dr. Darrell Beach, state of Indiana chemistry teacher of the year, about this tall, talked with a real high line, and always wore a bow tie, but he was hilarious if you got his dry humor. He was a real nice guy. Anyway, so you're already traveling down a path. Did you choose it? And the answer is yes. You choose what you do every single day. You guys have chose what your schedule is within limits, right? Some people are going to be like, you can't change your schedule now. But you can try. Anyway, but you put in your choices, right? You choose what you do as far as your homework, and you decide where you're going to go in life from here. There's nothing pre-decided that you can not overcome at this point in your life, in your age, okay? Where you want to go is completely up to you. Okay, so as far as daily choices, did you do your homework? Do you take advantage of the help that teachers offer? You guys may or may not like intervention. It's wonderful, in my opinion. Okay, my son goes to Eaton. They have like a 15-minute intervention. What does that mean? It means nothing. That means they call it intervention time, but you can't do anything. You can't get any help. Yes, during the first 10 minutes of intervention now, you're going to stay in your room. It's a nice calming time, a time for us to talk about stuff. You're expected to study during intervention, but you have the ability to come down here, go to any other teachers during intervention. Plus, I'm here every day till 4:30 except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays are my run out and take my son to therapy day. It's the only day you'll see me scoot down the hall with you guys and pulling out at the same time you do. Every other day I'm here till 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Feel free to come and find me after school. If I'm not in here, I'm running around somewhere, but I'm always willing to help. By the way, I drive the lime green Honda Element that's out front, so if my car's out there, I'm here somewhere. Sometimes I ride my bike to school, so that may not be a bad call, but if my bike's in the closet, then I'm here somewhere, okay? And I bike.
So you just drag your bike up the stairs?
Yeah, I carry it up the stairs. I could take a shower in the middle of school. It's 10 miles. It's a great 10-mile ride. So the only reason I didn't do it today, because it's great weather for it, is because I wanted to get here early enough. So you make choices like, did you sleep last night? Did you eat this morning? Make every decision thinking about how it's going to affect the next day. Okay, if you're going to bed at midnight with your phone next to you, getting texts all night from your girlfriend, you're not getting a real sleep and you think you are, and you're going to have a hard time concentrating in school. Okay, I will tell you, the best thing you can do is charge your phone out of your room at night when you go to bed, even if you go to bed at midnight, to keep yourself from being interrupted in the middle of the night. There's no text that happens at midnight that's that important. Okay, so try to get a good night's sleep and get breakfast. Okay, so try to make those choices that make today or tomorrow better than today. Think about you. Take the time to think about you. Okay, there's times when you're sitting in intervention, you're like, I don't have any homework. Well, do homework. Do homework on you. Research jobs. Research what you want to do in your life. Okay, there are tons of sites that talk about careers and jobs and pay and all those kind of things. When you're sitting around in intervention with nothing to do, find something for you to do about you and think about yourself. Okay, I'm not saying be selfish. I'm saying planning. Okay, who you are and what you want to be, where you want to be 10 years from now. Try to find your meaning and what gives you happiness. Okay, and sense of meaning. And there was a thing there. Basically, a sense of meaning makes you successful and satisfied, and satisfaction comes with the success. So it's kind of a thing, a big circular thing, and it makes you healthier in life as well. Okay, make sure you see value in everything you do today. It will pay off in the end. You may think this calculus test has no meaning, but it has meaning. It will affect you down the road. Okay. When it comes to every class, every assignment, try to do it with a purpose. Try not to procrastinate, and that's easier said than done, right? It's not due for 2 days, I'll do it tomorrow. And then all of a sudden tomorrow happens and you had something else you had to do that you forgot about. So try not to put things off that you can do today. On every day, try to realize that every interaction, I already said this, I say this all the time, what you do, how you interact with people affects them and you. If you're mean to him, he's probably going to be mean back to you. And now his day's worse and your day's worse. And then what even started that? I don't know. So think about how you're interacting with other people. Realize what you do says something about who you are. Every moment of your life impacts the future moments of your life. Okay? So all that kind of comes back to, why am I picky? Why do I think they're important? Why do I make you do things again? Okay, I get this all the time. Mr. Poole is too picky. These are class comments at the end of class. Okay, so I'm picky. If I send you guys out to go and set up some computer workstations, and I go and check on it, the wires are out, it's a big mess, you didn't clean anything else, I'm going to send you back to do it again because I'm picky. Why am I picky? Because everything you do represents you, and it represents me, and everything, and this is totally true in middle school. Middle schoolers sit down at a neat workstation, they take care of the workstation. Middle schoolers sit down at a sloppy workstation, they treat it like it's poop, okay? When we go, and it happens every year, when I go to a room and they all look nice at the beginning of the year, they generally all look nice at the end of the year. If they all look like crap at the beginning of the year, I'm back there 2 or 3 times a year fixing stuff. Okay, they get treated the way you treated them when you set them up. Okay, this was a comment from somebody who got a 98% on their final exam. I didn't learn anything in the class. Well, did you know that stuff at the beginning of the class? No, but you didn't teach me anything. Okay, so this is not a spoon feed class at all. I'm not going to sit up here and just tell you everything you need to know. I'm going to start you on every path, and then I'm going to give you time to learn stuff. Okay. You're going to watch videos, you're going to do research, you're going to do a lot of PowerPoints in this class because this is a very project-based learning class. And all the projects we're going to talk about in a minute are kind of stair-stepped based on stuff. So you're going to learn stuff in this class, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be like today where I'm just lecturing at you for 80 minutes because that's not going to happen very often. I expect nothing less than your best in this class. What does that mean? It means the best that you can do. I've got a part-time job, Mr. Poole, and I've got to do the cows. That's not our bell. That's the other bell. I got to do the cows in the morning and blah, blah, blah. Well, tell me. I don't know what your best is if you're not willing to talk to me. Okay? If you had problems this weekend, if you had a family emergency, if you had something going on, you have to let me know because I have a little bit level of expectation which can move based on who you are. Right? But I can't know you just from this little picture up here, especially Sam's, because you didn't have a picture up there. So that's not how I'm going to get to know who you are and what your limitations are. So I expect the best that you personally can do. The district depends on you guys to do a good job. Now this year, you're not going to do a lot of stuff outside the district, but if every single one of you guys can be in the tech class next year, that's all tech does. Tech takes 2 tests a year because I'm required to give them a semester exam each year, okay? No other tests in tech because we're doing stuff every day. Their test is every day. When he comes in with a broken laptop and I give you the broken laptop, that's a test because he needs his laptop back working. And there's no 75%. It needs to work 100%, which is why I say everybody should be able to get 100% in my class because you do it until it works right. You don't do it kind of, sort of. You don't take your car in a mechanic for a brake change, you get one brake changed. No, he changes both of them in pairs. Maybe all 4 at the same time, and when you hit the pedal, the car stops. If you hit the pedal and the car keeps going just because he put in pads, he got a 0, right? He failed. And we need to pass. And passing is 100% in here. So the district depends on us. I treat it like a job, and I grade it as such. I really want every student to be able to get 100%. That doesn't happen. Not in this class. It almost always does in the tech class. Okay, because we do have tests, and we do have projects, and we do have rubrics that we grade off of. But I really want, by the end, that you guys understand it the same amount. I really don't want Sam to have 100% knowledge. Now I got to look up your name here. Colton to have Colton. Colton? No, I didn't look wrong. Right picture. Who's Colton? Which one? There's 2 of them. Oh crap! You didn't even spell it different. Can you spell it the same? Okay, so you're both Coltons. That's not even. Can I go with thing 1 and thing 2? No, that doesn't count. Okay. Dang. Okay, so I just lost my train of thought again because I'm ADD. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, okay, so anyways. So I don't expect you to all get it at the same time, and we're going to talk about my grading policy when we get there, okay? Assignments are not optional, they're integral part of class, okay? I had, I don't know, 6 years ago, a student is like, I'm not going to do those, Mr. Poole, I'm just going to take the test in your class. Whenever I get. Okay, they're not optional. Which means after a week, if it's still not done, that's still not our bell. If it's still not done, you'll be in detention every single day until it is done. Every day. And you know what? I've had one student be in detention one day since I did that policy. It's not like he couldn't do it. He just didn't want to do a PowerPoint. Okay. Which, again, if you don't want to present, I'm not rigid on that. You can make a movie if you want to, and we'll play the movie. It's hard to stop and ask questions, but you know there are a lot of different ways to present the same information. But they're not optional. They're integral part of class. I'm not a do it on time or you get a 0 person. I hate that. Okay? Hate it. There's an English teacher in Eaton that all 3 of my older sons have had that literally if it's not turned in the first 5 minutes of class, it's a 0. And my number 2 found, it's typed up paper. You can't type up a paper in this class. Well, I guess you do have a printer, but let's pretend I don't have a printer. He found the page like a minute late and out of his 3-page paper and went and put it in her inbox. She's like, no, you're late. It's a 0. Wouldn't let him turn it in. It's like, well, why? If it was important enough to assign, it's important enough for me to grade. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean I don't take off. I take off 10% a week, up to 30% max. Okay, why 30%? Because I don't think you should fail it because it's late, but you should have a penalty, right? If I'm in a job and you assign me something and I don't get my work done on time, I don't get fired and kicked out the door that day. Now, if I do a bunch of them, maybe I do. But you're going to think less of me as my employer if every single time you assign something to me, I'm late. So I do penalties, okay? But no more than 30%, which means the best you can do is a C, but a C is better than a 0. Zeros are unrecoverable in my opinion. If I give you a 0 on a project, but by the way, the projects are the same as tests, if you all of a sudden got a 0 on a test in any class, almost impossible to get a good grade in that class after that, right? But a C, I can recover from a C. Not that I want you all turning things late, okay? Anyway, so they're not optional, integral part of class, summative retake policy. Okay, so we have projects and we have tests. Every single chapter after chapter 3, every chapter has a test. Every chapter after 3 has a project and a test. Sometimes they have 2 projects and a test. Anyway, so what's my summative retake policy? It's not important to me when I give the test on Tuesday that everybody understands it all on Tuesday. I mean, I like us all to understand it on Tuesday, but if he gets a 0 and you all get 100s, that doesn't mean he got a 0. It means he didn't understand it on Tuesday. Every single test you can retake in my class. Oh, and by the way, they're all open note. Everybody has to, we'll get to this later, everybody has to have a steno notebook, handwritten notes. You can use every note you have in my class in every single test, okay? Including the semester exam. That's because I want you to take notes, okay? So, and I also don't believe anything in computers. If you need to know something, where do you find it? You find it in your notes, you find it on Google. They're not all open Google, by the way. But my point is that I'm trying to teach you guys how to find information and find answers and troubleshoot. And that's not rote memorization. It's not what troubleshooting is. It's applying things. And if you have notes in your notebook, that doesn't mean that you understood it. It means you have another way to find the answer. Anyways, so summative retake policy. You have to do 4 extra things to redo a test. Okay? What are those extra things? It depends on the chapter. Many times there are extra assignments, extra homeworks, extra video with a quiz, some extra learning thing, because it doesn't do me any good to just give you a new test and give you a new test and give you. Obviously, if you got a 0 or he failed, or he's unhappy with a B and he wants to do better, there's no grade you have to fail in order to retake it. But he's not going to just all of a sudden, now I know it, right after he took the test. Well, now I know those questions, but that's not the point. The point is, do you understand the information? So there's some other online, usually, thing that I'll assign you that you'll see in Moodle that's formative, so it's not going to really change your grade that you did it, but it's here's more information before you retake the test. Then you can retake the test, and the other test goes away. Okay? So not knowing by Tuesday is not important. I want you to know by the end of the quarter. Along with that, nothing that happens the last week of the quarter counts in that quarter, because how would I let you retake it? It always is in the next quarter. Okay? So that you still have time to retake it if you wanted to. But once the quarter's done, the quarter's done. I don't go back and redo grades unless you were home with tonsillectomy and everybody gave you an extra 2 weeks. That's different. Okay, that's totally a different thing. Last thing on that, nothing counts in the last week. I have a caveat to that. If Miss Abner got a 100% on the test the week before the quarter was over and she's unhappy with the grade, she can say, "Can I have this test count to this quarter?" And I would say yes, and I'll let it count, but I won't make it count. Does that make sense? So if it raises your grade and you took it during the quarter and you'd like it to be on that grade, I will move it into that quarter for you. Okay, so but you have to tell me, otherwise it's going to be on the quarter that's in it. Everybody got that? Make sense? Okay, so that's my summative retake policy. I think I'm fair, I think I'm accessible, but I know I'm fast. This is one of the reasons I record every class. Okay, because I may have said it too fast for you, and you may I don't know what he just said. You can just go replay it as many times as you want to, and if you missed class, don't come in and say, "What did we do last class, Mr. Poole?" Because it's on the Moodle calendar. You should be able to see what we did last class. Now, if you come in and say, "I don't understand, I watched the video and I don't understand what this was," that's fine. By the way, the reason this camera is up here is so that when I'm doing hardware stuff with the computer open, that's why this is my spot, so that I can point it down so that if you weren't here for class, you can see what we actually did hardware-wise, not just see, because this doesn't do you any good. If I got a PC open, I'm talking about the PC, and all you can see is the screen, right? So that's what that's for there. So you can slow me down. Put your hand up, Mr. Poole. Can you say that again? That was a little fast. I don't understand what you're saying. Whatever. Don't feel like you can't interrupt me. The chance of us going through a whole class period without a phone call from someone interrupting me, which is amazing that we haven't yet already, is minuscule. I get called every single class by somebody who's got some emergency, and sometimes I'll have to leave, in which case I'll go across and say, "Mr. Wendell, can you watch my class?" And I will, "Yeah, I'll watch your class." But just remember, I'm always recording you. You can see you later. Anyway, so slow me down if I go too fast. I already said this. I kind of bounce around stuff. I'm not necessarily linear. The reason I use Smart and PowerPoints is to try to keep me on task. Okay, it's nice for you. I got notes and stuff, but it's really when I didn't used to have Smart Notebook files, I could wander off and forget what I was talking about and stuff. So, just so you know. Okay. Anytime you're not in 203, you represent this class in our program. We have some freedoms in this class that many other classes don't have. We want to keep those earned freedoms. When we go out, by the way, we always go in pairs, which is why, initially our pairs are going to be however you guys want. I don't really care. But if we start having clickies in here, then I'll start rotating it, okay? And by the way, you'll see on there what table. I need to put numbers on, but that's table 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Everybody got that? Okay, and that's the blue wall, and that's the white wall. I know it's not white, but whatever. So if I say you're 3 blue, and there's 2 chairs here, then I would want him on this side of that and that white, and I've got some reasoning for that when we do projects and stuff. So if you ever see blue, white, that's blue, that's why. Anybody know why the wall's blue? What? Yeah, well, we used to do a web in the web class. We used to do daily videos in here, and that's our blue screen wall. And students used to do the weather in here, and like we've got the front moving in, and anyway, so we blue screen the weather screen and stuff behind it. And that's why the wall's blue. We should have done green. Blue screen doesn't work as well as green screen, but once they painted it, we stuck with blue. So anyway, so don't look in disturbing classes. Don't make any noise in the hall. I will get called if that happens. And don't divert to other locations. There's a map up there of all the classrooms. If I send you to an even number classroom, it's on the 2nd floor. Odd numbers classrooms are always on the 1st floor. So if I send you to 412, which is a middle school 2nd floor classroom, when I say don't divert, I expect you to go down the hall, through the library, and into their hallway. And you should either be on that path or in that room. I shouldn't find you playing basketball in the gym. You want Mr. Poole to go bipolar, head, go nuclear, be in the gym playing basketball, and make me look on the video for 20 minutes to find you in the gym playing basketball. You will not seem happy, Mr. Poole. And yes, it has happened before, so that's why I bring that up. However, when I say don't divert, if you need to go to the bathroom and you're walking by a bathroom, you don't have to ask me if you can. Don't call me and say, "Can I use the bathroom?" There's no place you're going to walk to that you don't walk by a bathroom. Yes, you can go, boop, go in the bathroom and come out. okay? However, if you're a particular bathroom person like I've had in the past, if your favorite bathroom is not in the path, you need to call me. I had a student, I can only go to the bathroom in the commons bathroom. I guess it's really private and clean there. I don't know. I don't go down to the commons bathroom. So anytime you wanted to go, it's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Can I go to the commons room, Mr. Bowl? Yeah, I'll say yes, but that's because I want to know where you are. Okay, other than that, don't divert. Don't look in classrooms. Don't wave at your girlfriend or boyfriend in the classroom. Don't knock on the windows. All these things have happened in the past. Okay? Don't make noise in the hall, especially the library. They get really mad when we talk on the way through the library. Okay? So when you cut down there, just don't talk on the way through. They are the most likely to call me. Okay? Come back here when your task is done if you get sent out of the classroom. Again, doesn't happen a ton in here, and it won't happen probably at all first semester because of how much I'm going to be going anyway. Okay, on a daily basis, we, and I say we, I mean the tech program in general, maintain the district. We have way over 600 PCs. This is old. Right now we have 400 iPads in the elementary school, another 100 in the middle school. The elementary school is all one-to-one iPad. The middle school is now all one-to-one as well as us. Every single middle school classroom has either a full lab or a laptop cart, except for the art and music teachers, which I never even thought of them when I was doing this until they go, where did we get one yesterday? And I'm like, oh, no, you never asked. So we have a lot of tech. There's still workstations around. Most PCs are just staff PCs anymore. Okay, that's really other than the 2 computer labs over in the elementary school and middle school, most of them are either thin clients or laptops around the district right now. So we have a lot of tech though that we maintain. We maintain them all. Obviously, we don't do anything, send anything out. We identify things that we're going to work order based on work order requests. We do a number of projects. We do a lot of hardware checking in here. When we get to the hard drive chapter, I'm not just going to say, this is how you check a hard drive. We're all going to get a disk, and we're all going to check 4 or 5 hard drives. We're going to take over the elementary school lab, and then we're going to take over the middle school lab, and you guys are all going to check 4 or 5 hard drives. So there's no question. You guys know how to test a hard drive. So if you have a hard drive problem at home, oh, well, I can do that. I'll check it. And then, oh, we need to send this in. It's still good. You know, we're going to learn those things. Same thing with memory. You guys will learn how to test memory. There are certain things that are easy to test and easy to do, and I want to make sure that you guys can do those things when you're done with this class. Okay? And it's not just talking about it, it's going out to the classroom or the labs and doing it, because talking about it doesn't teach you as much as it could, okay? Don't do a lot of software installations in this side, that's more tech. We do some PC placement, but not much anymore, but we have a lot of our own projects that we do. We obviously, I already said this, school support, we try to be minimal disturbance in the class. We always work in pairs, and a lot of that is so that if you guys go out somewhere together and you find I need an Ethernet cable, one of you can keep working and the other one gets sent back. Who's in charge? Where's the highest level? Okay, we'll get there, but this is a gamified classroom. You get experience points, you go up in levels, you're all monks, what level of monk you are. If you guys go out together and you're level 4 monk and you're level 3, she's in charge of you. Okay, so whenever you get paired up, whoever's the highest level monk is in charge of that pair. Okay, and we'll talk about that more next class. Then we're going to have time to talk about gamification today. But it's different than many other classes in middle. There'll be things that you can see that you can't see because he did something you didn't see, and it automatically just goes boom on Moodle as soon as he's accomplished it. And you're like, I don't even have that. And he's magically a higher level too because he's clicked on more things and found more things and collected more stash. And we'll get there. We'll talk about that stuff. So Moodle is not just like a whole bunch of assignments. You get credit for doing activities and experience points for doing things, and things show up based on other things that showed up and stuff. So anyways, so that's what we got in pairs. That's who is in charge, is whoever's the highest level that's in charge. And if you cheat like people did last year, there's penalties for cheating. I had somebody write a script that kept doing the same thing over and over again to try to get more experience points. Well, I can see that. And then you dropped 2 levels for doing that. So now all of a sudden you were level 5, you thought you went to level 7, and now you're level 3, and that was ahead of you because you cheated. Don't cheat. Okay, so my trust is implied when you leave the classroom that you guys are going to the right places, you're doing the right things, you're not goofing around, you're not going to play basketball, that kind of stuff. I get feedback all the time. Librarians like calling me. Most of the time, other people only call me if you did something really bad. I don't get a lot of calls. They did a great job, even if you did do a great job. But I go and look, and I'll know that you did a great job. Okay. And this is my thing: be NTLS ninjas. If they don't see you and they didn't hear you, but it just magically worked, you were a good ninja. Okay, you went in there and fixed it, and then you got back out. Entire class is based on learning how a PC works, how to fix things, and how those things interact together that are inside a PC. By the end of the class, you should know how to buy one, build one, repair one with minimal assistance. Okay, not zero. There are things I have to Google. If I haven't seen something is new to me, I'll Google it, an error that I hadn't seen before. Mr. Eiler had one the other day. Fortunately for him, it was his flash drive driver that destroyed everything on his flash drive and blue screened his computer, but I had to Google it to find out what it was because I had never seen that error before. So just because you finish the course doesn't mean you'll know everything. Hopefully it'll make you know enough to be able to find what you need to know that you don't know. Okay? So objectives: understand the parts and how they connect to a PC, understand those individual parts, their purpose and how to replace them, and how these parts interact together in a computer. Okay? Now we're talking mainly in this class, we're talking about PCs, not laptops, but that much of that information transfers straight to laptops. It's just harder to do in a laptop. Okay? Advanced tech is really right now about fixing laptops and do all the laptop repairs, as well as some other projects and stuff as well. And then in the last project, second last project is to be able to fit those in financial limitations too. Everybody will spin the wheel and get a certain different amount of cash, and they'll have to come up with the best PC they can for the amount of money. So somebody's going to have $500, somebody's going to have $3,000, and everybody else is going to have something in between, and you're going to have to spend within $50 of that. So you're going to have to find the best parts that fit the amount of money you have. So if you're going off to college and you say, I want to make a gamer rig and I got $750, you know how to get the best gamer rig for your $750, okay? Or workstation or whatever that you want to do. So that's part of the course as well. How do we get there? We have reading assignments, we have class discussions, we support school systems, we build new systems, basically new to us from the Air Force. When I build servers, though, I should say that whenever I do a server, I'm not going to do it when you're not here. Every year we build new servers, and every year I do them in the class so you guys can see the whole process of building the server, which is just like a super PC. It's no difference really than a really good PC. I mean, our servers would be awesome gamer rigs if we just put a really good video card in it. I'd love to have one of our servers at my house. So those, you won't touch those though. You'll just watch me do those, just so, we spent $3,500 on a PC. We don't want, the CPU itself on those is $1,700. So if you go, ooh, drop them on the floor, that'd be bad. And yes, students have dropped them on the floor. Okay, so you have what's called the ongoing PC project, which is based on the textbook that I'm going to give you guys here at the end of class, which you don't need to give me back. Those are yours to keep. It's textbook. They're based on that book, but it's a 2004 book. I don't want them back. I actually tried to get a new book. This is my new book, but I couldn't bring it to buy these, to give these to everybody, because it's awesome textbook, but it's ginormous. And I don't want you guys to have to carry this in the class every day. I was going to buy it, and it's really good, but I'm going to try to see if I can get a digital copy to just put on online on our class. So the project starts on chapter 4, basically. So the way it works is the biggest circuit board on a computer is the motherboard. So you're going to do, in chapter 4, when we get there, you're going to do motherboard project. And then after that, the next project is going to be a CPU project, which is going to be the CPU goes in your motherboard. And then you're going to do a memory project that's the memory that goes in this motherboard. And then it's going to be a hard drive that goes to this motherboard. So they're all linked as we go. We're kind of building and building. Yeah?
Yeah, just use the bathroom.
No, you can't use the bathroom right now.
I've been holding it for 40 minutes.
I know. Here, you got to wait a minute. Do you really need to go right now? I don't have a bathroom pass yet. I didn't make one for today.
He's drinking a gallon of water a day.
What?
Your bottle.
That's what you get for that big, huge bottle of water. Okay, here's my bathroom pass for today. You can bring my eraser back and don't get it wet.
If I see some graffiti, can I
Okay,
erase this?
so now it's probably got black all over.
Make it worse.
Okay, I'm still going to continue, but you can watch it later. Okay, so we basically do a building approach, which is why you can't really fail that If you do your PowerPoint project and it's completely wrong, you have to do it over again. Because you can't do the rest of these projects based on this one being wrong. If you use a laptop motherboard, okay, we can't do it. Or a motherboard that's not, we'll learn this later, not an ATX motherboard. It won't fit in the case that you're eventually going to buy. So you can't do that. So all these things have to build. And you're not going to do it without, hey, go do this. Obviously, you're going to learn these things ahead of time. But if you make a mistake, you'll have to redo that one so that you can do the next one and do the next one. Because you can't, there's a point where you just can't continue on with the rest of the course. So it lasts all year, and it's kind of a building approach on this, on the project as we go. We also have class exercises and discussions. Obviously, we use Moodle. Everything of mine's in Moodle. There's nothing, the chance of me giving you a piece of paper, there's one thing I can think of all year that you get a piece of paper. Other than that, it's going to be in Moodle. Okay, it's going to be online. I post every YouTube video on the calendar. I post stuff in Moodle books. Has anybody had a Moodle book in a class before? Okay, so everybody had Mr. Birdsall? Yep. Okay, so he's got a bunch of links in his, right, in his class. All my links and stuff in YouTube are together in chapter books. So in that chapter, there's a book, and when you go into the book, it has little chapter tabs, and each one's separate. So it's kind of organized a little different, but it's the same information, just done a little differently. So I've got all that stuff in Moodle. There are self-assessments in every class, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So every single, what are you doing? Give me your, what? Why am I not coming up the, okay. Where is, I'm going to go to the other screen. I don't know why Firefox isn't coming up. But every single section of Moodle has ICANNs and self-assessments in it. Okay, so first of all, my Moodle course is set up on the index view, which is the newer view with the newer version, and some teachers haven't gone over to it. But the index view, basically, it's kind of like a table of contents when you come to the Moodle course. It's not all the chapters. So the one that I'm on, the course introduction is highlighted in orange. And there's me. I by the way, leveled myself up. I'm always one level ahead of the highest one here. So anyway. Okay, so when you go into course introduction here, there are things that you will see and things you won't see. And by the way, all these little check marks are automatic things that show up and don't show up and get done while you go. So every single section has an ICANN section. So in this chapter, in the introduction, I expect you guys to know these 4 things by the end of the introduction, right? I expect you to be able to explain the emergency procedures. I expect you to understand the classroom rules. I expect you to understand how Moodle works. By the way, is anybody new to Trail here? Okay, so everybody's used Moodle before. Well, I mean, that would be a big thing. If you just came into Trail and you had never used Moodle, it would be hard to understand Moodle. I mean, it's hard for teachers that are just come in. Explain the course syllabus to your parent with the course expectations. And look, here's a little pickup. See, this is one of our little Easter eggs in the middle that you get experience points. I just picked it up and went in my stash. Okay, so you'll see those kind of things around Moodle too, that you all of a sudden you see a little thing that says pick up, that goes into your stash and you get experience points for it. Okay, so every single section has an ICANN statement, and every single section also has a self-assessment, okay? And they all say whatever self-assessment. And you'll come into class and the board will say, please redo the chapter 1 self-assessment. And those are basically yes/no questions on every one of the ICANNs that I want to know how this class is doing, where we're at right now on the ICANNs. For instance, if the first ICANN statement, well, I could go to another chapter and show it to you. Well, I'll show you what these look like, first of all. So when you come into them, it's just the ICANN statement. Do you understand the emergency procedures for our class? Yes or no. Okay. By the end of the course, or I should say by the end of each section, I expect 95% all yeses, or we shouldn't go on to the test, right? If you're the only one who doesn't understand how to do a power supply calculation, and everybody else does, we're still taking the test, but I'm going to say, hey, why don't you come in after class today, and we'll talk about power supply calculations. Because there's no reason, I don't believe in reviewing things that everybody understands. It's just a waste of our time, right? Now, if it's while I'm gone, I'm going to play the review anyway, because that's going to be one of the classes I have set up for you to make sure you guys know that chapter test before it's given. Because I won't be able to ask you questions because I will be on base, right? So, and I mean, I'm not going to do it interactively. Everybody stand up and wave at the camera. It's not that good. But, okay, so that's what those self-assessments are. So when you retake it, it's so I can see where we're at now. So obviously the first time we take it, it's probably going to be all no's. Maybe you do know how to calculate a power supply. Maybe one person says yes on all those self-assessment questions the first day that we do it. And then every day that we do it, I basically delete all your responses, and then you take it again, you take it again. So I get to the point where I was like, okay, Orange 3 knows this, we can move on, kind of thing. Now there's obviously a point where we're not going to stay on chapter 3 for 3 months. So everybody, I mean, at some point we have to take the test and move on. But, you know, there's a weak flux there. That do I need to go on to chapter 4 yet, or do I need to spend more time here before we go to chapter 4 kind of thing, right? So that's what the self-assessments are. So that's, when you see that, that's what I'm talking about on this. So I use self-assessments a lot. I don't really use the wikis anymore. I use a Google Doc for that. Obviously we have questions and answers, but and I use forum discussions. You'll see those if you haven't used forums before. We do, when I say writing assignments, not that there's no writing assignments, but usually it's a question and response journal type thing. I want you to just tell me the basic steps of how the computer goes through the BIOS boot. Okay, that's a writing assignment, because if I ask you multiple choice or matching question, you have more of a chance to get it right, even if you don't know it, right? So that's what some of the writing assignments are. It's just open response so that I know that you know, or you know, whichever Colton I'm talking to, right? Colton? Okay, you guys have to sit at the same time. But that's what those are. I don't do a lot. I'm not going to say I don't do any. I usually do one MLA type paper a year, but not a lot. Okay, and then distributed web links, and really I use books more often, and obviously use quizzes and tests, and the same thing. But my quizzes are all be formative. Like you do a pre-chapter 3 quiz, maybe just to see, you know, you all said you understand how to calculate a power supply, but everybody needs to take the quiz today, and then all of a sudden you all get, you know, 20%. I'm like, I think I need it. I don't think they know what they think they know, kind of thing. Don't think that means what you think it means. Okay, so to class, I expect you to bring your laptop every day to class. Expect you to bring your steno notebook and a writing utensil. So everybody needs to get a steno notebook just for this class. Every note that you put in there is open, testable notes. Okay, and if that means you're good at writing notes in class, that's fine. If it means you want to watch the YouTube video in your spare time and take down important notes, I don't care. But this, no photocopies, no taped in printouts from my notes online. It has to be your writing in your steno notebook. Okay, so I expect you to bring that to class. Along with that, when I'm talking, this is an Air Force term, but foot stomp. If I'm saying something and you see me go like that, that means this is on the test. Right now, what I'm saying right now is a question exactly what I'm saying on the test. So if you don't have it in your notes, or you don't have that memory that it's ching, you're probably making a mistake. Okay, so if I foot stomp something, I'm saying without question, not only is it on the test, what I'm saying is exactly on the test, probably the way I'm saying it. Okay, so I expect you to bring that. I expect you to log into Moodle, and I should say, and Gmail to check things. If there's something I need to get in contact with you with, I will send you an email saying, hey, you haven't done this, and with a link to what it is, because I want you to get it done. I want you to succeed. I don't want you to get 10% off per week if you miss something, or if you just, maybe everybody's got something done, but you don't have it done because you didn't know it was due because you didn't do the thing that made it show up. Hey, you haven't done this yet, that's why you can't see this, kind of thing. So check your Gmail too. I expect you to read and watch your online assignments. I use something called Edpuzzle. Anybody use Edpuzzle in the class? Okay, Edpuzzle, if there's a video that I've Edpuzzled, it's a YouTube that you can't fast forward. There are questions embedded in the video, and you get a grade at the end of the video. So you can't watch it as a group, and you can't watch it with your friend, because you won't get credit, and he does. Okay? It says, you got 100%, I got a 0. Well, I was watching it with him. No, you got to watch it on your own if it's Edpuzzled. Okay? And that's just how I know that you did it. And that's why there's questions in it to make sure you did that. Okay, and I do that a lot of times with the blended stuff when I'm not here. And the online assignment, see if I can get, why is it not, you know what, this worked perfect last class. I alt-tabbed right to, I'm going to be able to do that anyway. It's on the other screen. My bad. Like I said, a lot of my stuff is integrated in a Moodle book on a given chapter now. So I'll show you what a Moodle book looks like. So if we're in chapter 1, the book has this little book thing right there. That's what a Moodle book looks like. And if you go in there, it has tabs over here on the side. You wouldn't see any of this stuff. It has these tabs on the side, and I might say, read the section on PC parts, and then it's got a section in there with hyperlinks, and sometimes it's got embedded YouTube videos in there. Which one has a video on? Maybe it's up here. There we go. This video is unavailable. I'm going to have to look and see what my link was, because I must have deleted it or something. Anyway, so that's what a book looks like. Everything's put together in one little section on Moodle. If there's hyperlinks on things, if you don't know what that hyperlinked word is, I expect you to read the hyperlink. If you know what a microprocessor is, you don't have to click on it. Obviously, one of this says television. Do you need to click to know what a television is? Probably not. Okay? I think anybody not have a television in their house? You all know what a television is. So, do I expect you to click on that link? No. But if you get to a word microprocessor and you don't know what that is, I expect you to click on it and read the following reading on what that is when you're doing this stuff. Okay? So it's not, some of the readings look shorter than they imply only because there's embedded things inside it, okay? By the way, when it comes to tech reading is not a single read. I can't read anything in that book and read it once and know what it said, okay? It's kind of like if I read it the first time it was in Greek and I don't know Greek, and then I read it the second time and it's in English, but that's my second language. And then the third time I read it, okay, English is my first language and it's in English. So sometimes when you read stuff, if you just glance through it, you got nothing. I really expect you to read things, especially when it's that short of an article. I expect you to read it 3 or 4 times so that you actually know what it said. Because I'm serious about that. I can't read something and then all of a sudden the first time it's perfectly clear to me. And if it is for you, that's fine. But don't expect it to be like that, okay? Most of those, the class is organized off of this textbook, okay? So, and I don't want to just throw them away, that's why I'm giving it to each of you. And some of the reading is out of here, but I also have the PDFs loaded on the class site. But this is the organization of it because the class is an A+ hardware class. A+ hardware is a Microsoft IT certification. If you took this textbook in 2004 and knew everything in this textbook, you could sign up for the Microsoft A+ class, you pass the test, and you get a certification from Microsoft that would get you hired at Eaton Computer or OptiVise or some IT place as a low-level IT tech because it means you know how to fix PCs. The course is based on this book chapter structure, but I skip tons of them. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15, 16, I think. We skip a whole slew of stuff in the middle because it's not that important. And I say not that important because there's no way for me to get the level of knowledge I want you guys to have on the parts I want you to have and do this entire textbook. Which is why this one was even scarier. Because I'm not going to assign you this much reading. I wish I could, I really wish I had time to write my own whole textbook because there's some great stuff in here. But like origins of ATA. I don't want history. Why does history have to be in a textbook, in a computer textbook? This is not a history course. I don't care where ATA came from. I just want one on SATA. I don't care about PATA. I don't care about ATA standards. It's like okay, it's a lot of info, but really we don't need to go to it till right here. The first 5 pages are junk on history. Why do you need to know that? If it's not in any computer that you can use right now, there's a whole chapter on floppy drives. Who's got a floppy drive at home? You do? Get a new computer, for God's sake. Okay? There just aren't. You know how many floppy drives are in this district? There's 2, and they're both up here on the shelf over here because floppy drives are terrible for maintaining stuff, but I still have teachers who have stuff on floppies, so I have to have an external one that plugs in USB for them to get to their stuff. So why would I teach it in class? Why would I teach zip drives in class? And I'm not talking about a flash drive, I'm talking about a zip disk, which is something totally different. You wouldn't. It's a waste of your time and my time, and I don't want to fill up your brain with stuff that's unimportant. So it's based on the textbook, but it doesn't include everything in the textbook. Okay? I already said we've got the ICANN lists. Oh, if it's not covered by an ICANN, it shouldn't be on a test. So if you guys take a test And you're like, just pull this one on any I can for chapter 5. And if you're right, you get the question right, and I either fix the I can list or take another test, okay? Hopefully that doesn't happen, because every single question I have in the part you can't see says the I can number at the front of it, so either I changed the I cans or I deleted one or I screwed something up. But everything should be covered on one of those. If it's not covered on those, it shouldn't be on the test. That's the whole point of the I can lists in classes, okay? So make sure you read through them. Read the computer articles that I have. I have frequent reviews that I have you guys read too. By the way, we also do blogging in this class, which you may or may not have done in another class. We have a IT blog that will be there forever, so your blog will be searchable for throughout time. We've got kids who blogged on there from years ago. You guys will do probably 4 or 5 blogs on there, and that will always be open too. So if you go on to Computer Classroom and you want to keep blogging on our IT site, you're more than welcome to, and you can use that as a reference that I blogged on this site. I've got 2 students that did that in college and blogged on their stuff and then got programming jobs and used that as a reference in the class. So we'll talk about that later. We use MLA citations for all work. That includes PowerPoints. It means you have to have works cited at the end. I expect in-text citations in PowerPoint slides. I don't expect you to plagiarize. I expect you to give credit. And if you learn how to do that right in English class or in this class or wherever you learn it, you'll never get an F for plagiarizing. It's not a big deal to give credit. It's easy once you are doing it right, and we'll talk about that in class too. We obviously have quizzes, most of them over reading assignments. They're also over PowerPoints, okay? When Jesse gives his PowerPoint on the motherboard, every single thing he said becomes testable material, okay? Every single thing you guys talk about on those presentations are testable material. And I take notes on those. I'm like, ooh, he said that. I can add that question. Okay, I forgot to mention that kind of thing. Okay, so part of that is pay attention to each other. It's not just, we're all given different presentations from different manufacturers, different motherboard kinds, different CPU sockets. You'll learn about all that later. They're all going to be different. You got maybe 2 of you in the class of 10 will give the same motherboard. All the other ones are going to be different manufacturers. There's enough motherboard manufacturers out there that we should be doing different stuff. So we're going to cover different stuff on those projects. Formative ones, I think, are easy if you did the reading. They're just to make sure you did the reading. Obviously, tests. Some of them are going to be as practical as possible. Final exam in this class is nothing but fixing a computer. The last day on your final exam, you're going to walk in. You're going to pick up a work order over here that has a number on it. It's going to say number 4, and it's going to say, my computer won't log on to the internet, whatever. And you're going to go over and find computer number 4. You're going to take it to your workstation. You're going to fix computer number 4. When you're done fixing it, you're going to bring it over here, and you're going to have it all hooked up, and you're going to show me so you can log into Windows 10, and I got it all worked and fixed, and blah, blah, blah. That's what you're doing. You're going to have 80 minutes to fix a PC. Everybody's going to have something different broken. All 10 of them will be different completely, as you guys will do. So that's completely practical. You're going to be graded on not only fixing the PC, but the thought processes you went through. And you're going to learn how to do that stuff. It's not like I'm going to go, hey, here, fix this. Okay? But as much as I can, I like to do things practical. So the things you go out and do, or the things you do in this class, there may not be a paper associated with it, but there will be a grade associated with it that when you do stuff. Okay? We're going to tear apart PCs on each one of these desks. That's why 2 people are going to be at a desk when you come in. When we do the first tear down, there will be a PC on each desk. You're going to tear it completely apart. All the parts are going to be laid on the table. And then I'm going to say, okay, let's put them back together. And then we're going to put them all the way back together to a working PC again. And we're going to do that 3 or 4 times during the year. Okay? That's a graded thing. It counts. You did something, right? Just because there's no paper to fill out doesn't mean it's not going in the grade book. Okay? And most of these things are 100%. Very few times do students ruin the computer. Yeah, it happens. Okay, it happens, but if you do it right and you do it the way I told you to, then you're probably not going to. We'll do classroom activities, reading assignments, and obviously we'll have class notes as well. Summatives, I think they're easy if you participate and did the reading in the class. Okay, and I already told you about the summative policy. Everybody here has used Moodle, so hopefully, if you have any questions on Moodle, just let me know. I'm not going to spend any time talking about Moodle. I already said this, I expect nothing less than your best, which isn't the same as the guy next to you or the girl next to you. but it's the best you can do in our class, okay? District depends on you in this class learning what you're doing, okay? And I like to treat it like a job and a grading. I'd love to see 100% from every student in the class, and I already said this, those things are not optional, and I already talked about the summit of reset takes. Policy, I want you to learn. I want you to learn how to find the answers on your own. This class is not about, here's info. Now tell me what I just told you, okay? This class is about learning how to research, how to find things, and if you ask me a question that I know that you could find from Google, sometimes I'm going to say Google it, even though I know the answer, okay? Because I'm not going to be standing next to you when you're home. And I want you to know how to find answers to things. Now, sometimes I'm going to just answer you because I want everybody to know, and he's going to ask a question that I forgot to go over, and go, oh, every stop. We all need to know this, and I'm going to interrupt everybody to answer that question, but sometimes it's going to be a question that I just said the answer to.
Can I FaceTime you?
So, what?
Can I FaceTime you?
Well, I don't have an iPhone, so I know you can't fix it.
Well, I mean, you have a Samsung, so FaceTime, or a Snapchat, or,
Okay, so anyways, no. I want you to develop your ability to find your own answers to things, and I do want you to ask questions. I just won't always give you the answer, okay? And feel free to ask your friends questions too. I want you to apply these skills to the real world. Later in life, I want you to be able to do these things. And lastly, I really want you to enjoy this class, okay? If you are, done this class for 2 months and you're like, I hate that class. All we ever do in this class is blah. That'll make me sad, okay? Hopefully you enjoy. I try to make sure we do hands-on stuff at least once a week. It's not going to be every day because we do have to, read and do other things. But I want to do hands-on stuff as much as we can because I think you remember that the most. Okay, rules of the class. Respect each other and each other's stuff. If these guys are gone doing a project, they should feel like these bags are in a vault. No one should touch their stuff. I don't care how good a friend you are with him. You don't touch his stuff. Nobody touches each other's stuff. Okay, it was a problem one year. I don't want it to be a problem. Okay, so if it's not yours, even if you're best friends, don't touch somebody else's stuff. I'm waving my hand so much that I already thinks I did 10,000 steps. By the way, I know my hands are all over the place. Okay, as far as the school goes, respect their classes and our facilities. Water is okay if you're not doing PC work. If there's an open PC at the table you're at, no water open containers at all. Okay. Now, if there's one over there and you're sitting here, that's fine. But if that's your table and there's a PC out, don't have out any liquids. Okay. I got to redo my little thing here, but the way this used to work, I need to make new things. Is that this little arrow that means don't get anything out. We're doing PC work. I don't want anything on your table. This means we're doing something with laptops, or at least we're not getting a PC out, so I don't care if you get out your laptops, okay? Now, as far as laptops go, I know I'm diverting, but we've got power supplies in that sink that are plugged in all the time, and power supplies in this sink that are plugged in all the time. Even if we're not using our laptops, I know you guys don't have them yet, but there's no reason you guys should leave this room without having a full charge. Okay, now if you came in here as full charge, obviously you don't need to get out. There's no reason you can't sit it either in the sink or on the edge and plug it in. Those power supplies are always on and always plugged in. I don't know why I need to pull this out to say that, but you get the picture. You should leave here with a full charge no matter what. So if you came in with full charge, don't get them out, but if you use the last period, please plug them in. And if you use the laptop in here at any time, make sure you plug it in. We need to clean up the power supplies a little bit in there. Okay. Sign out when and where you went to, even if I told you to do so. There'll be a clipboard over there with all I expect is your team's initials. So if Savannah's, we're going with Jesse, all it has to do is SA-JB and then the room number, okay? And what time you left and when you got back. Why? Because if we go, I may send you guys to a place, and 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 did I remember where I sent you? No, I didn't write it down. You're supposed to write it down on your way at the door, and then Mr. McKnight calls and says, where's Jesse Beiser? And I don't know. I need to be able to answer the question, okay, when I sent you somewhere. So if you go out, make sure you sign out. Unless you go out to the bathroom and I give you the bathroom eraser, which apparently I need to put something on there and say that's my hall pass or something. Okay, clean up. It says 5 minutes before the end of class. Now, if we're not in this room, you guys have got to have a phone set or something for an alarm, because that's the one thing that happens too often now, you guys have lunch after this, so it's not as big a deal as it is second block. But if we're over in the elementary school or the middle school, there's no buzzer going to tell you to get back over here. So you guys have to make sure you pay attention to the time if I send you out to a classroom to do something to make sure you're back here. Also clean up 5 minutes before the end of class if we're working on stuff. 5 is last minute. If you've got a PC apart on that table, you're not going to get it back together and put it away in the closet in 5 minutes. You need to think ahead of what time it is, okay? Now, if all we do is we've got some motherboards sitting out and we're practicing putting CPUs in it, that's 5 minutes, okay? The room, right now, there's a little stuff there, but we've got everything organized into tubs with labels on them. And by the way, that if I didn't already say this, I already say the desk numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 work areas that you guys are going to have to work on. All the tubs are labeled. This is cabinet 1, cabinet 2, cabinet 3. I'll say it's on shelf number 3 and cabinet number 2, which means I count from the top. 1, 2, 3. It could be anywhere in here because when we're pulling out tubs, they get rearranged. Okay, but I generally know the general location of where something is if I say, it's over there. Okay, but we need to clean it up and put it away. Everything should be put away. Every desk should be clean when you guys leave. And I know it's not now because we're doing a laptop thing, but by next week there'll be nothing in here at all on the floor or anything when you guys come into class other than what we're doing in our room. Okay, so we need to make sure that's done before we go. Stay out of the back rooms and the closets unless you're specifically requested or told to do so. That's the back closet, 209 closet. We got stuff hidden everywhere, okay, as far as tech stuff. We're going to do a walking tour of where everything is next class, okay? Because it's literally, it'll take us 40 minutes to walk around everywhere. And you probably won't even remember everywhere everything is, but hopefully somebody else in the room does. And when I say, hey, go up to the main discom closet and do this, you're like, whoa, what was that? Okay. So we're going to walk around and do all that. Don't touch parts unless it's specifically told to. Many times you guys are going to come into class and I'm going to have parts sitting out on the table. And don't touch them until we talk about them, because if you don't know how to pick up a CPU correctly to not ruin it, and you just start picking it up and palming it and stuff, and let me grab one that, these are no good CPUs, so if you pick it up like this, I just ruined this CPU, okay? Very likely, okay? When we hold a processor, we hold it like that. These pins are already bent. Somebody dropped them on the floor because they picked it up and were playing with it before I said so. So if there's parts sitting out on the tables, just leave them sitting there until we get a chance to talk about them, and I can say, hey, when you pick up a CPU, everybody's got a CPU on your, hold it by the edges, don't ever touch the pins. Once they're bent, it's a piece of trash because you can't straighten them out again. There's 390 of them or whatever, okay? So don't touch parts that are out until I ask you to do so. This is in bold and a reason. I get really upset when you're behind my desk, okay? Stay out from behind my desk and particularly out of my chair. That's my 3rd chair since I've been here. Come back 2 other times that my chair has been broken. I literally mean broken off the thing when I come back from a sub. I'm like, what happened? I don't know, one of the kids was in it. I'm like, wow, okay. So that's not even mine. Somebody else ordered that long story. Anyway, so when I say behind my desk, I'm really talking about past this is my desk area. I don't want students, this is my police tape line. If you pass here, you should be dead and on the floor, right? So this is my house, and this is everybody's house, okay? So that's what I would appreciate it. I get kind of bipolar on a couple things, and that's one of the things that I get unhappy with. There's a couple reasons. I'm logged into everything in the world over there, and all of a sudden I walk back, and Jesse's walking back from there. How do I know what Jesse was doing on the computer? I don't, right? I mean, he could have just deleted all the superintendent's files for all of I know, right? So I just don't want you guys back there. And by the way, when I say my computer, this is my computer too, so don't touch my stuff. Computer rules, no games, emails for class uses only, music during independent work time. Okay. New rule this year is no phones out for music or anything during the classrooms. However, I've got power supplies. I have no problems when we're doing research project. If you guys have your headphones out, listen to music while you're doing research. I personally listen to music whenever I'm doing research or whenever I'm writing paper or anything. It's part of my brain thing, right? Some of you guys might want complete quiet. Is that the real bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real bell. Okay, we're going to finish this next time. We're done other than the tour and the emergency. I promise I won't talk at you that long again for a long time. I'll see you guys on, what is today? Friday. See you guys on Friday.
Mr. Cook,
Yes.
I'm in the CDI class, so I sign out like Airlines before. So
Okay.
I didn't know when I get my laptop because I don't go to any.
I can do it right now. Let me just stop this and I'll do it right now. So you're a junior in CBI?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get the junior sheets.